Confidence is an interesting thing. If you ask me directly questions and I had to answer it with a yes or a no, does confidence help? I've found in life that some of my biggest sales or best interactions were actually the ones where I was most vulnerable. If I can talk about my dad, he said vulnerability is like one of the sexiest traits in sales.
4 years ago, I thought I had the secret sauce, and I was like, we're doing great, we're producing well, and I actually have to sit down with somebody one day and where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'm like, I'm fine, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And they're like, that's it?
I'm an advocate for quality over quantity. I made you feel like I'm going numbers game, Joey. And
You can feel the difference, and that's what I was gonna say. So a lot of people get that mixed up. They think that if they're doing they're casting a huge net.
all a sale is do we agree to think the same way around the same topic? If we both agree to think the same way around the same topic, we have business.
What's one phrase that builds trust instantly for you? What do you think is a great trust building phrase that you think would work great when people are communicating?
I think vulnerability is like posing the question, are we the same when it comes to this? Instead of saying, I'm nervous, you could ask the audience, hey guys, have you ever been nervous? Now you got, I'm more trusting of you. You can operate with no business cards, no website, none of that. If you have those three things in place, you can put money in your pocket without anything else.
Today I have Jamie Miller, and I'm thrilled to have you here. We met in February at Mortgage Con. Chris Parker made an introduction after your event. I was blown away with your communication speech, and I really was intrigued by your style. And you do this a lot in front of big crowds. I guess you're a communications coach, right? International communications coach. Been keynote speaker at a lot of big events. I'm going to see you again soon in May.
You'd have them live. Yeah.
So I'm excited. So, let's just jump right into this. So what sparked your passion for this?
What sparked my passion for this? All right, so have you seen Jerry? How old are you, Joey?
I'm 44.
Okay, I'm 48. So have you seen Jerry Maguire?
Of course.
Okay. Do you remember the scene when he has a sleepless night and he writes a 300-page prospectus? All right,
Yes.
and he then goes in the office and they fire him the next day. But for me, I call it my Jerry Maguire night. So December of 2018, I had an experience whereby I look at it as a gift. I lost my dad, and he would always say, Jamie, there's no substitute for experience. It's always better to learn from someone else, all right, rather than if you can. And in December 2018, I was with someone who was doing what I was doing, speaking in front of rooms of people for other companies. And this guy was just complaining, like I was in a drive, like chaperoning him, and I was like, he was in his 70s. And so what sparked me was, I was listening to him, I was like, Jamie, if you don't change what you're doing, you're gonna
Sound like him?
I'm gonna become that. So I had this epiphany of like, my Jerry Maguire night, where do I provide value to another human being on this planet that I've got a lot of believability in myself that I can actually do? And then the next day, the universe conspired to throw an opportunity my way.
I'm pretty sure we saw a speaker like that when we were in Orlando that was pretty negative when he went up there. He was a little loud and negative on some of those things, and I was kind of like turned off by it as well. There was a guy up there, I'm not going to mention names, but and then I think you came on a couple sessions after, and I was like, okay, that's what we're looking for.
Look, I think as a world, we go to negativity. I'm sure some of the lessons I'm even going to share on this podcast or later on at the comedy club, at the event. As human beings, we use a lot of negative connotations. We're geared as society to go and write a negative review ever before we'll go and write a positive one. So from that standpoint, if one of your questions was, Jamie, what's your superpower? All right. If I was to say something positive about myself, it's weird because it has a negative connotation to it. Yeah, I would say I'm probably one of the most naive individuals that you ever meet.
Really?
And I use naivety as a gift. Naivety means that all the world can get programmed to think a certain way. As long as I think differently, I can be sat here dressed like this in a Journey concert. You love Journey. You've got me on here. You can take me seriously. If you think of the world and the way it talks about professionalism,
yeah,
wear a suit, wear this, like be this. I'm just like, no. Do you know what? I'm going to operate in this kind of lane.
in your space,
in my space. And so, the spark for me was just creating a life where I just don't participate you and I both know you're in the mortgage space. Ashley Bedford, who's sharing the stage.
Love Ashley.
Client of mine. All right. She trusts in my guidance. 265 units last year. She's going to be on the stage at UWM Live.
She was on the stage at Mortgage.
Right. But if you think about the mortgage space, Ashley Bedford did 265 units last year. How much of the mortgage world is in their head negative? Like the world is this winter.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference? It's not that she is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's a mentality.
It's a mind shift.
She can't be so for me, it's just a case of don't buy into negativity. And a big part of what I've done a lot over the last 7 years is self-talk. All right. Like, I'll give you an example. Are you okay with me being, do you like the idea of gentle or direct? Do you like, do you like constructive feedback?
Yeah, I like constructive feedback.
Okay. So before we got on here, all right, you're like, oh, Jamie, I'm a bit nervous. This is my third one.
Yeah.
Okay. If I pose a question to your audience, I would say, don't tell the audience, hi, I'm Joey. I'm nervous in communication, right? Because that is like kind of like guessing how they're going to react.
Right.
But if you ask someone, hey, whenever you do something, all right, do we have to get used to it? Is it a human component that we learn and we grow?
Yeah.
You're nodding your head, yes. Now your audience is like, yeah.
Yeah, never thought about it like that.
But now you get buy-in from all the right people. You're going to ask me questions where I know some of the questions you're going to ask me, which is fine. People buy from people they feel the same as. The only way you know someone's the same as you is not by guessing it. It's by asking. If I'm in front of a room of suits, for example, I would turn around to them. If I'm feeling a certain way, I'm like, oh, I don't know if they're going to take me seriously. Now I'm in a headspace more, not so attached.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I was feeling a certain way. I would just turn around to a room and I'd say, guys, do you, I wouldn't say, oh, I feel a certain way. I'd be like, hey, guys, just curious. You care more about the appearance that I have, or do you care more about the value of content that I teach you? The people who nod their head to value of content and they answer value of content, we're a great fit. The people who care about the appearance, we're not such a great fit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's for everybody, and yeah, there's people that I know what you mean. Especially, I like to keep these casual, right? Suit and tie is not for me, especially this kind of a setting. So that's why I've had the lounge. In fact, when they hold,
I love we're sporting our Nikes too. Like we're all good. Yeah.
You gotta be comfortable in your surroundings. I think that's big. I think confidence is a huge thing with that. And you got to be confident and be able to carry that look, right? Like I have the confidence to do it. I'm happy with the way I look. I'm sure you're the same way. You love the way you dress. You're comfortable with it, and you have the confidence to do it in front of anybody, any audience.
Confidence is an interesting thing. Look, if you ask me directly question, and I had to answer it with a yes or a no, does confidence help? All right. Yes, absolutely. I've found in life that some of my biggest sales or best interactions were actually the ones where I was most vulnerable.
Really?
Well, you're pretty accomplished. You get this space, and yet you're nervous for us to do. There's a nervousness, right?
Of course.
Okay. Well, my hope is this is going to be one of the greatest interviews, and then anyone coming after me has got a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
And you're going to find, do you know what? Like I can be more confident. Let's call it.
But I definitely understand that feeling. Definitely, like you said, I was nervous starting out, and I guess the confidence factor, you're right, I have it, but it doesn't.
But some of the biggest sales you did, if I can talk about my dad, like he said, vulnerability is like one of the sexiest traits in sales. So I've had conversations. Let's say I was meeting Matt Ishbia, all right?
Yeah.
And I want to get on the stage for UWM Live. I'm not going to go up to him and go, now I know he's a bit like, you gathered information, you know who you're talking to. My starting point, and this might be a good lesson for your audience, if they're watching and they're taking notes on something, the greatest question that you can ask in sales, all right, in terms of starting the conversation, is putting the person in your shoes, in their mindset. So if I'm meeting Matt and I'll be like, hey, Matt, have you ever in your journey to achieve everything you've achieved, did you ever have an interaction with someone when you're starting out where you felt like after you left the conversation, you get in your car and as you're driving away, you're like, if only I could have asked this. Matt is going to say yes. If he doesn't, you don't really want to be around someone who acts like they've never
Made a mistake.
or had that feeling, right? But the second I go, have you ever experienced this? Got in your car and driven away. It now gives me permission to be like, well, then you're going to appreciate the question that's very bold, very direct.
Yeah.
That I'm about to ask you. If I just go in too direct with the question, he's like, I don't relate to you. But if I can get, so the words are, has this ever happened for you? If you turn around to anyone in the world, has this ever happened for you? Right? The word for you as well, not to you, for example, in consciousness. If I say, has anything this ever happened to you? It could be negative. For you, it's always a get, like it's like
a giving. Yeah. It's changing when we're around.
Yeah, if I've got free parking in New York, you want to get free parking somewhere, all right? Or in New York, it's $400. My daughter, I could call her up right now if she picked up. She's in school, so she shouldn't. I'm like, Ruby, what are the words I used when I got a free park in New York? She goes, went up to the front desk. Hey, mate, has this ever happened for you? You ever had something so outstanding, so amazing, so glorious happen for you? Just like, that was so wonderful. I wasn't expecting it. It's kind of nice when those things happen, right? Guy behind the front desk. Absolutely. I'll be like, mate, the parking, $400. He goes, let me take care of you. Because I'm setting up, have you ever had something so outstanding happen for you?
Yeah.
Are you following along?
I'm gonna have to try that one day for sure. At a hotel. I can't stand those parking fees at some of these places. It's unreal.
There's again, I try and teach what I call Batman's tool belt. So it's not just using the same thing in every interaction. That is my go-to play if I want to put someone in my shoes to get them to appreciate. I could be in a coffee place, all right, and I'll go, has this ever happened for you? You ever run into a random stranger that you've never met before in a coffee shop, and you end up having an interaction with them, and it ends up being glorious, kind of nice, right? The guy goes, yeah, kind of nice. You can do any of your loan officers who are calling up realtors, okay? Do you think realtors have placed a cold call before in their lives?
Yeah, of course.
Highly likely. So we're going with predictability. With a loan officer, you've got your team and they're calling up realtors to build relationships. If they turn around to a realtor, hey, just curious, all right, in all your journey to achieve all the success you had, have you ever actually had a phone call with someone you've never spoken to before and ends up being really warm really quickly and you end up vibing with the person? It's kind of nice when that happens, right? The realtor goes, yeah, oh, you're going to love me. I'm so-and-so loan officer. All right.
Definitely an intro that doesn't get used.
But okay, so one of your questions you're going to ask me is, where do people go wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, we've become immune and overused with the word, like there are realtors, loan officers calling up people using words that we've become like, hi, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so. We want to hang up. All right. Or I'm just calling because to see if you're interested. Or the reach out on Facebook or social media to the messages, how are you? You're like in your head, if you're savvy, what are you going to try and sell me?
Yeah, I know. And those trigger points, we all get that message. And especially on LinkedIn too, right? You're getting those messages, you're getting those reach outs, when it's a sales call. And this is interesting because, using the way you communicate, I guess, and opening the conversation in a different manner really turns people's attention to a different direction. It takes it off of the focus of like, is this a sales call or is this like a friendship call or what kind of, what is it?
I'm just going to put them, have you ever had an experience like this? It's kind of nice. And there's other, look, obviously we're going to go for, thankfully, no time restriction later on in the talk. And I'm going to open up to questions. But there's building rapport. Look, when I came in the office, I'm listening, hey, Jamie, what's up? I'm like, hey, Joey, what's up? If I say something different, if I say good morning, I've made myself different from you. Second, I see you wearing your Nikes and I'm wearing my Nikes. Whether we like it or don't like it, we feel a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at like a level.
Okay. Well, if your loan officers or anyone listening in is calling up someone and they give the other person a chance to actually answer the phone first and say hi or whatever they say, if the loan officer repeats back to them the word that they said, it's subtly, very subliminally going to make the call warmer.
Really?
Well, because people, like, if you say hello, if I say good morning, you're like, who the hell? Who? If you go hello and I go hello, and instead of I go we, and I put us in the same boat, we've never had the privilege of speaking before.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
all
definitely
different than what other people are doing.
so different. So I guess that's to my next question. So like, that's a great opening point. So what is a great conversation? That's opens you up to a great conversation. That's what it kind of looks like. You're getting on the same level with that person. So how do you continue that and not lose that level? How do you, because that, you know, you get through the opening and then what? Where's that? Where does the sale get lost? Where's the disconnect happen for people? Because that happens a lot for all of us.
It happens in, look, obviously there's multiple ways that we can lose. First one is we do too much talking. All right. If you notice, my first question is a question because I'm looking to get buy-in from the other person. Most realtors, loan officers get a license to sell something with zero prerequisite for the communication piece, and they're doing a very emotional sale. So in terms of actually understanding the framework, not a script, but the framework of the conversation, first part, build a rapport. How do I get this person to feel like we're somewhat the same? The second part, I call it the evoking of some kind of emotion. And then the third part is what I describe as a seamless call to action. It's not just a seamless call to action is this. It's just if you build rapport sufficiently and if you evoke a little bit of emotion, you should find it easy to ask for the business. It shouldn't be this nail biting setup. All right. So first off, we have to understand we shouldn't be doing all the talking. We need to ask the potential client questions. We need to go through almost like that formula.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing that my belief has to happen is you've got to sell the right thing at the right time.
Okay.
And where people go wrong is they don't sell the right thing at the right time. Have you ever got an email from someone where they just change out name of recipient and they're telling you everything they can do?
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
All right. Are you okay with me making a lesson at the same time?
Absolutely.
Okay. If I didn't know you, Joey, and I go to your LinkedIn, all right, I'm not going to reach out to you with some generic, like, hi, Joey, Jamie Miller, Art of Conscious Communication. I do this, cross my fingers, and use this at the end. I would like the opportunity to meet with you. Because if I say the words I would like in communication, there's no focus on you.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm more conscious about it, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at your LinkedIn. I'm going to take 3 minutes to 5 minutes of my life and I'm going to scroll through your posts. And I'm going to look for a post that I believe, and again, it requires us not being robotic,
Right.
Okay, and especially in the world of AI. I'm going to go and find a post that I believe looks like one that you didn't have automatically done. And it looks like it's personal, where you've written a personal post about how you're feeling around something. That post, I'm going to gamble, is going to get more responses from people than any other post.
100%.
Okay, so you're with me. It's conscious. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to tell what's generated, AI generated or automatically posted for you.
Right. Or there are companies that have businesses like Hearsay where they actually, all of them are posting the same thing. And the only people supporting it are the other people within the company.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So what I would do.
No authenticity.
Right. So, key word there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see the responses. I'm going to go to the comments. I know you're going to, and I'm going to see if there's someone that you haven't spoken to in a while who's commented, and see if you start with, hey, hi, or whatever you start with there. I'm going to go with my gut. If you said, hey, my first part of my message to you is going to say, hey, Joey.
Yeah.
Just as a subtle, I know you use hey, so it's not good morning with sincerest regards or whatever.
Right. It's what I use.
What you use. All right. And then the next part, all right, I'm going to say, we've never formally met. I get fascinated every time I send a message like this on LinkedIn, which I don't do frequently. I always end up, we get on a phone call. Now I've subtly thrown out, this is what takes place when I do a message like this. And then the next thing, I must say, the post that you did on this was outstanding. So you might appreciate I'm not a ChatGPT just generating, and you're going to be like, oh, I do like this so far.
It's
And I'm giving a genuine compliment to something that you posted.
Yeah.
Right? We all love praise. If your wife praises you, you love it. If a stranger says, well done, that post really resonated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And like you said, how often do everybody, right? We never write good reviews. Is not the first thing. When you have a bad experience, that's the first thing you go to. Nobody ever wants to write a positive review anymore. It doesn't happen.
Right.
Out of the gates.
We all love praise more than we do money.
We love praise.
So I'm praising the post, and then I'm going to go to a subtle call to action, but not say I would like. I would say, hey, let's say I'm more than just a fancy accent. And many of people have said that this is great help to them. Would you, at the very least, see a benefit in a phone call? Question mark. Cheers, Jamie. I'm elevating my chances way higher of getting a response than someone who's just sending generic, let me change up the name, I'm going on a fishing expedition.
Yeah, exactly. They're just casting out a net. And it does take a little more time, obviously.
Well, I'm an advocate for quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Do I, listen, have I made you feel like I'm going numbers game, Joey? And
No. You can feel the difference. And that's what I was going to say. So a lot of people get that mixed up. They think that if they're doing they're casting a huge net, they're sending out, a flyer to 1,000 people. Listen, we all get those flyers. We all get that. And unfortunately, it just goes to junk. Unless it's got some kind of a hook, you're just deleting it and moving on. So making it more personable, making it more interesting. So like, wait.
Well, how many realtors, if loan officers are listening in, I call it golden geese, all right? You end up becoming, Chris Parker is a golden goose, all right, for me. You end up becoming a golden goose. Why? Because you're putting me in front of this audience, then you're putting me in front of 100 people later on. Your one person puts me in front of many people, all right? A realtor to a loan officer is a golden goose, right? How many realtors do you really need in your life? And it shouldn't require, I'm going to make 100 calls every day and try and find 3 realtors. It's not sustainable. It's not enjoyable.
That's one thing that I built our company on is not vendors, right? I don't want to be known as a vendor. I want to be your partner.
Right.
And the partnership, that one thing that we do is we create that partnership with the real estate agent. We don't have thousands of realtors that we're mailing to. We don't have thousands of realtors we're inviting to our events. We're inviting our partners, people that we want to help grow their business. And this is one of those beneficial things, just talking with you and learning, it's huge. I think one thing that I want to ask you, which was something that I had an issue with years ago, is ego. I think a lot of people that are already selling and are doing, they're doing great. Sometimes they can't get to the next level because of ego. And I want to hear your take on it, because that was me 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I thought I had the secret sauce, and I was like, we're doing great. We're producing well. And I actually have to sit down with somebody one day and they're like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And they're like, that's it? This is where your level's at? You've hit your ceiling? And I started questioning it. And I'm like, she's like, you're letting yourself get in your own way. You're not opening yourself up. You're not listening to these things of the outside influences. And like the conference that I met you at, I go to as many conferences as possible to hear, like, obviously not every conference is awesome. Not every speaker you're going to jive with. I obviously, enjoy what you said. And I was very fortunate to spend time with you at, Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Universal. That was pretty cool. Had a great time there. And, it's a great thing. And ego, I feel like, gets in the way. So what do you think about how do people move that aside or try this? Some people say, I already know how to sell. I don't want to try this communication. What do you say to them?
Well, one, I won't fit a round peg into a square hole. All right. I don't chase. You heard me say earlier, naivety. All right. Does naivety sound like an ego-driven thing? It's not. Naivety pretty much means there's so much I don't know.
Right.
All right. I keep reading. I keep learning. I keep growing. I believe in not risking all. For example, like being okay knowing that you're when it comes to working out, I use analogies like working out. I probably am sacrificing growth because I won't do anything that's got the name of a country like Bulgarian or Romanian in front of it when it comes to working out. So I won't injure myself in that regard. In communication, I've never given a perfect talk. I've been doing it 27 years, not one time, not mortgage con, nowhere. Yeah. I've never given a perfect talk. Yet the compliment is I keep getting invited back. But in myself, no such thing as a perfect talk. I think I had to take a long, hard look at myself at 40 to 42. I didn't date. My picker was off. I've been married. I'm amicably divorced. Love my ex-wife. We get along really well. But I had to look at myself. It's a complete removal of ego when you're like, I have got zero figured out. I need to figure these scenarios out. I think when it comes to the fact of I've got an Ashley Bedford who trusts in my guidance and she's achieving what she's achieved, well, she thinks that she can grow. So here's what I find happens. If someone's in their own head, they can't grow at all. I'm not here to try and break that.
Yeah.
My clients that come on board are always they fit into two categories. I get the Ashley Bedfords where they've already achieved a lot. Jamie, teach me one thing I don't know that I can go with me. I can show you a text message from someone last night, mortgage guy, who goes, Jamie, you taught me the words at least. That's been worth more than the fee alone. Just teaching the words at least, all right?
Because people don't use it. It's not normal conversation.
Well, if people later on today, maybe on the podcast, I'll throw out why it works, all right? But if people actually understood the power of using the words at least consciously when asking for business, it would elevate their chances. With selling the right thing earlier, we were talking about is if you're on a phone call with someone, if you're sending an email to someone, you're selling a phone call. If you're on a phone call with someone, you're selling a meeting. It's not to tell them everything that I can do and answer every question. With regards to the only other people I get in my life are the rookies who are aspiring to be the Ashley Bedfords, Joey, where they'll do they prove that they don't have the money, but they're resourceful, all right, to do it. Then you've got the rest of the world in real estate where they're in the middle, and then they've got ego without achieving what it is, and they've not even had the capacity to internalize where are my missing ingredients. But no, I look, if we both look at Matt Ishbia, could we say he knows things about business that you and I definitely don't know?
Absolutely. And do you ever sit in one of his talks when he has his morning meetings and he'll say at the end of the meeting, he's like, I write down things. He's like, I'm never perfect. He's like, I get better every day. He actually takes notes at his own meetings, what he did wrong. You know, he has people taking notes from it. It's just self-improvement. So when you said that perfect part, I was like, yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect talk. There's no such thing as a perfect meeting. You can always improve on something.
This podcast is not perfect.
No.
And it doesn't, but nor should it have to be.
Right.
I focus so much on the human component, Joey, that I would rather get things royally wrong, all right, than it be like this perfect scripted setup.
You know, it's funny, and I didn't even ask about this. I didn't write anything about it, but since you're saying all this perfect stuff, AI comes to mind. And it's because, you know, when you're getting an email from AI or somebody that copied and pasted and used AI to write an email. And I'm not saying AI is a negative tool. I think it's a great tool for certain things, but I think that takes away the human touch with people. And, you know, so what for the people that are out there that are, you know, dabbling in AI, are they losing connection with people because of it? I mean, what are you feeling on that?
You know, I'm doing something in September, right? Like I'm calling it Human Con. All right. And my event is called Human Con. Okay. For short form, like Mortgage Con, Human
What's
Con.
The dates?
Sorry?
What are the dates?
September the 18th. Okay. I'm doing a day of 5 hours where all I'm doing, I'm like the rebellion of AI. It's like, to go to your point, I don't care if I'm only operating with 3% of the world. I'll quite happily operate. Our kids, we talk about our daughters, all right? My son, who I love dearly, they're a generation where they are attached to devices. Their ability to have social interaction is going to go down. I believe as a society that we will be craving. I even think I'll give the compliment, AI super impressive. Yes, what amazing, like the intelligence that goes behind it. I will give it the compliment, but yet at the same time, it's going to keep improving, but it's not there yet. Luke Shinkala was on the stage, and now he's a proponent of AI, and he asked questions of the room. I listened to every comment. He goes, how many of you are using ChatGPT and what have you? And the whole room raised their hands.
Yeah.
Then he asked the next question. He goes, how many of you are getting leads and actual business from using it? And maybe one hand stayed up. I got to actually ask that person, the hand that stayed up. All right. I said, how many? They go, we got one deal. I'm like, so you're not making a living
off ChatGPT.
And I think people are doubling down and putting into it, and it's not perfect yet. All right. So if we know we're becoming, remember I said the word immune? We're becoming immune to AI. We see the dashes, or we see something is too good.
It's too perfect. They've had a conversation with you. They've talked to you for hours, and then you send them some email like, that's not the same. It's very identifiable, in my opinion.
Oh, here's the problem. Let's say you even meet with the person. You're going to get weary because there's going to be a disconnect between yourself and them, because you're not the same. Especially if loan officers and realtors are saying, reach out to this person, act like you're Alex Hormozy, or Tony Robbins, as you're reaching out to them.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, no, but that's what the prompts.
Yeah.
Again, I think AI is impressive. I won't ever use it for, hey, I need you to write a message to Joey. All right. Again, sounds kind of weird. I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, does that? I'm a big texter, and I use Siri a lot. So sometimes Siri messes up. I'm sure some of the texts we've had, I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. And I love how you can unsend if it's an iPhone to iPhone, so I can rewrite it. But a lot of times, if you got an Android user, you can't. So, and I have to recorrect it. So when it's authentic because you're making errors or grammatical errors or whatever. So that's one of the things that's true. And just pivoting from that, because one of the things that all of our loan officers, real estate, our biggest struggle is obviously social media. Social media is like a huge audience grabber for people. I'm a proponent of it. I started really hard and heavy doing this. So I started this podcast too. Your techniques, I feel like, is something that you can use when you're talking to your audience in social media.
Oh, the big problem is the problem with social media is, especially in real estate world, and I implore everyone who watches to this point, go and look at your social media and realize selling the right thing at the right time. If you're doing a post on social media, I've got a following on Facebook. I've got theories. Facebook, I get to post my personal life and professional life. So they see me with my daughter in New York and her performing in Carnegie Hall, and they're like, oh, I love Jamie as a dad. So they connect the dots. He must be a good, in business terms, and they connect the dots. LinkedIn, everyone's trying to sell everyone, so it's not so personable. Instagram, I've got younger clients and I've got the receipts, as the younger generation calls it. I just don't post frequently on Instagram. Facebook, if I have a thought process, as long as it takes me 6 seconds, I'll post. But here's the difference. I'm selling someone private messaging me. Likes and comments, no one gets to see the private message that comes through. Jamie, what's the deal with this? If you go to my social media and you look at my posts, you'll see the words at least, pretty much in the majority of my posts.
I'll have to check that out.
All right.
I'll have to check that out.
And watch this. For anyone listening, real estate, you'll see realtors. Look at this happy couple. They just are holding a key.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the common post that you see all the time from a closing.
Okay. What if they were to be like, let's say we're doing the closing, and be like, and the client say something really positive. You'd be like, hey, have you ever known that notion? All right, that if it's not on social media, it's like it never happened. Yeah. All right, right. And then I'm like, tell you what, we're going to capture this moment. All right, and if you're okay with it, I'll post it, and I'll tell you guys. Okay, so hey everyone, I've got Joey with me. Joey, share with the world how you feel about the new home and how you feel about what I've done for you. And then you're like, oh my God, Jamie was amazing. Everything's been smooth, And then in the post, instead of saying, look at this happy couple statement base, you just write a question. Would you like to feel the same way that these lovely people do? Is it at least worth, all right, let's say you are, is it at least, worth a private message? All right, question mark.
And I don't think I've seen a call to action like that.
But here's what's happening. You tag them, here's what happens. Their friends are seeing
happiness
that take place. They're like, we need Jamie in our lives. The amount of times I just do a post where I'm just like, share with the world how you feel right now. All right. Or I do very raw, authentic, boring. This is a snapshot of my phone. Does that make I'll show? I haven't even posted this yet. But you go to my phone. You go to my phone. One of the most recent messages, Kendrick, secret emoji. I was thinking today though that you have given me one word that has been worth your entire fee, at least. I go, and now I know what I'm doing with this. And you love to hear that, because I sincerely believe if the world knew that they'd get way more out of life based on just knowing those words and why they work. I know I can do a post on social media if I wanted to and be like, are you using the words at least in your dialogue? Is it at least worth learning how that can impact your life significantly? PM me. I will get PMs. What's the story with the words at least?
Yeah, of course. They want to know.
I'm not saying, look at this text.
Right. Happy client. Right. Look at you're not looking for the sentence.
It's questions. If I'm going to do a video in the morning, everyone in the video, hi everyone, I just wanted. Okay, I know what you want to do, because remove the words I want from your vocab. Has your daughter ever asked you for something where she goes, Dad, I want, and you have said no? Because I know in my...
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you won't give your... Okay, so you mean to tell me, Joey, that your own flesh and blood, your daughter, asked you for something with I want, and you didn't give it to her, yet the whole world thinks complete strangers care when they say I want? Are you following along?
I'm following that.
Okay. They would be better off if people did a video, be like, hey guys, have you ever got up of a morning and you've seen something inspirational and it really inspired you, and you're the kind of person where you thought other people could do with that? Guys, that happened for me this morning. You're starting with buying into your thought process. Guys, have you ever had one of those messages where you felt like, I needed that? All right. They go, yeah, great. This lesson will resonate.
That's interesting. It's funny because I definitely can think back of all my posts. I don't think I've ever done an entry like that, ever. I think all my posts are just like, hey,
the more you do a question, you elevate the chance of a response.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely try my next post. We'll try one today, actually. So I'm excited because we're going to head out of here shortly and get to our thing, our level up event, which I'm really excited to see the impact that you're going to have on all these real estate agents. So 2 things I want to close with is,
right,
what's one phrase that builds trust instantly for you? What do you think is a great trust building phrase that you think would work great when people are communicating?
Trust building phrase. Look, I think vulnerability is like posing the question, are we the same when it comes to this?
Right.
You know, instead of saying I'm nervous, you could ask the audience, hey guys, have you ever been nervous? Now you got, I'm more trusting of you, all right, from that regard. It's not AI, it's not scripted, it's not perfect, it's actually humanizing yourself. So in a phrase, the most powerful word in sales, the most powerful word, and a client bought me the sticker, all right? Believe. All right, believe is great in your self-talk and external talk. If I ask someone, do you believe I can help you? And they say yes. Everyone in the world, I know this, everyone in the world will do what they believe. They'll go to a place of worship every week. They'll send their kids to college and pay a fortune for it because of what they believe, all right? If people are having doubts, self-talk, and they ask themselves 3 questions. 1 is, do I believe in myself? And they answer that with a yes. Great. The next question they ask them, can I get someone else to believe I can help them? And then the third one is, can I get someone to place a high value on what I bring them? You have those 3 things in play. As glorious as this is and what you've built, you can operate with no business cards, no website, nothing, none of that. If you have those 3 things in place, you can put money in your pocket without anything else.
That's interesting because
that's my journey. My journey's been like literally, do I believe in myself? Yes. Can I get someone else to believe I can help them? I didn't have a website for the first 5 years. I don't need the warehouse and this stuff to get ahead. I think people overthink.
Yeah, they want the shiny toys. They want the objects.
Yeah, but they also overthink, or they're letting negative messages in. They're listening to someone in the office talk negatively about something. So just in your self-talk, a lot of the world does affirmations. Affirmations are a bunch of statements. questions of yourself and elaboration on those questions, if you need to do them, is what will help people get through their days.
Wow, that's strong. I am extremely excited, and I really want to thank you, man, for taking the time this morning. It's early morning, right? And we're looking forward to this event, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the future as well. I think that your communication style, your thought process, I guess posing the questions properly and really just making sure that you're humanizing things and getting, it's so internalized. And like when you're listening to this and you kind of like think back, you're like, okay, wait a minute. And then also too, trying to implement all of this, it's like a one-step thing. I think it's kind of like a skill you adapt and learn if you keep doing it. Is that how you would say?
If you're, I didn't know if I was going to get a chance to share something, but now that you've, okay, we're going to do this is a perfect segue, all right, for a great lesson. All right. Have you ever gone on social media and you see a video and at the beginning it says, wait till the end?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then you watch for 5 minutes and either one or two things happens. One, you're like, can I get my 5 minutes of my life back?
Yeah.
Or the second play, the glorious play, is the Sixth Sense movie. Like, it's like you get to, oh, I'm glad I watched it till the very end. So here's what we're going to do with this podcast. All right. You're going to say, look, you'll probably have to watch the entire thing to have a full understanding and grasp of what Jamie shares at the end. But have you ever heard the notion, save the best till last?
Yeah.
At minute 15, whatever, right, Jamie's sharing something that is beyond, all right, which will help you all get what you want out of every interaction. Every interaction you go into before it starts, go into it with the words, I agree with you, cemented in your brain before the conversation gets started. However your conversation goes, you want it to get to the end where you say the words, I agree with you. All right, because if you do the words, I agree with you at the end in your mind before you start, all right, you're going into a conversation, predetermined outcome, making it the other person's idea to go along with what it is you want them to do. All right, so instead of like a loan officer gets asked, what are the rates? Now,
That's the biggest question nowadays.
Okay, a veteran loan officer who's been doing it for years might indeed, and I'll prove it today, answer, the rates are 7%. Now, they've been doing it 15 years. They're successful. They've been doing it. But when they share with a new client, the client asks, what are the rates? The loan officer goes, they're 7%. Okay. Does that person know all the years of experience and what the loan officer brings to the table based on that answer? They don't. Okay. So if I'm like, I agree with you. Okay. What are the rates? I've got, I agree with you. I'm going to be like, absolutely, I'll share the rates just very quickly. Are you only caring about the rates, or do you also care about the caliber of the loan officer that's going to help you close on the house that you actually want? They go, if they say just rates, we don't want that person in their life, all right, in our lives so much. If they answer, I care about the caliber, next question, I evoke more emotion. Well, look, and I might use group psychology. Look, a lot of my clients seem to love the fact they never have to worry, all right? My track record on getting people to close, all right? Just out of curiosity, what would be one characteristic you would value, using the word value consciously, all right, that will have you feeling very confident in going with me today? It's a specific question. Oh, getting loan to close. Huh, why did you say that? Oh, well, I've heard some horror stories and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, how would it feel to know that I can absolutely deliver on that on you? And then they go, yeah, no, that would feel amazing. Okay, do you know you asked about the rates? Can you see where this then is a very sensible rate then? You know what, when you put it that way, yes, I'm like, I agree with you.
Interesting.
And you remember you said earlier, it affects all walks of life?
Yeah.
That's every conversation. People in their personal lives are asking the most amateur questions of their kids. All right. Parents love their kids. They want the kids to eat vegetables. As an example, all right. And I know, are you enjoying it?
No, this is especially the kids part, because I mean, obviously raising kids, I know where you're going with this. Well, I don't know how you're going to handle it. I know
I know how okay. Kids got broccoli in front of them and they say, Mum or Dad don't want to eat the broccoli.
Yeah.
And then most parents, we go emotionally flip. You said what some other amateur plays in communication. We get too emotional and we go flippant with our questions too fast. All right. So we're not conscious. The kid says, I don't want to eat the broccoli. Most parents out there will say, well, how do you know you don't like it? And the kid will answer, I just know. Then the second question comes out real fast as well. Well, have you ever tried it? And the kid goes, no. There's no agreement. My house. Dad, don't want to eat the broccoli. Hey, just curious. All right. Do you think I feed you healthy because I do or don't care about you? Multiple choice, because you care. I'm like, okay. When that, like, what is a benefit, one, that you'd come up with to at least, all right, try the broccoli. And my kid might say, I don't know. Now, they won't listen to me, but third-party edification, they will listen to. So in this case, I go, Alexa, what are the benefits of eating broccoli? Alexa goes off on this tangent. And then I turn around to my daughter or son and go, what was one thing that Alexa shared that stood out? And my daughter go, oh, the thing about the brain. Why is that important? Now my daughter is starting to tell me why having a great brain
The benefit.
is a benefit. And then I go, so what are your thoughts now? She goes, I think I should at least try it. I'm like, I agree with you. Are you following along? It's getting more patient. We've got the opportunity, make it more quality and actually be like, I know there's a way I can get this person into a place of agreement. And here's a nice soundbite for the end. All I say is do we agree to think the same way around the same topic? If we both agree to think the same way around the same topic, we have business.
Wow, that's powerful. And I'm excited, man. I can't thank you enough for this. I actually got a lot out of it myself. So for me, that's excellent. And I hope all the viewers that do see this podcast really thank you enough for this. I actually got a lot out of it myself. So for me, that's excellent. And I hope all the viewers that do see this podcast really wait till the end, because the end is very powerful. And I'll have to make sure that they annotate that when they produce this. So I appreciate your time, man.
No,
this was awesome.
Hey,
thanks,
Joey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.